I call Stephen Browning, 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We will be supporting this bill. We see it appropriate that this sort of user-pays method to fund some aspects of biosecurity and customs processing is appropriate. But this levy is no magic bullet. Biosecurity, it's a levy, it's a tax, it's a whatever. It's a source of income for these processors at the border. It is just a fraction of what is needed for biosecurity, and we'll be speaking, obviously, at another time on the total budget for biosecurity, because the government has only actually supposedly added about 25 million to biosecurity, and that's a very, very concerning thing. This is just another revenue source. It is the $100 million that's anticipated in 2017-18 is only a source to basically cover the limited amount that's being used already out of other revenue streams. Biosecurity at the border needs a lot more money. And I have put it to the Minister, even if you used 50% of what you're going to get from this new income stream on adding it to existing biosecurity money, it will still not be enough for biosecurity. And we can think of fruit fly. How did it get in this last time? Previously, up in Whangarei, we thought it was probably a yacht, and then another time, another yacht, possibly. These people are going to get taxed. Someone going to be there tapping them on the shoulder to pay their levy? I hope so. Yeah, so is customs going to be there for these stray yachts, waifs and strays as they come in, to inspect them properly and to gather their tax? Hope so, because they need to be paying their part in it. However, then we had the Auckland incursions, the more recent ones. What's that cost so far? And it's not over yet. We have to wait to spring to see if there's a re-emergence, because it was not nipped in the bud quick enough. But worse, they actually got in here and were able to sit in New Zealand, these Queensland fruit fly, and breed at least one generation, and by the look of it, more than one generation of breeding in New Zealand, because we didn't nip it in the bud. Is this levy/tax going to do the job? No, it's not. It's just going to make sure that some of those people that could have been responsible are going to be paying their way. Back in the 90s, even, mid-90s, when Hort New Zealand looked at the potential cost of Mediterranean fruit fly, a good proxy for Queensland fruit fly, the cost for the Bay of Plenty, should it get going in there, was 820 million of the cost of basically 3,500 jobs. Hawke's Bay, 390 million with over 3,000 jobs lost. Nelson area, 265 million with close to 2,000 jobs lost. It is critical that we do biosecurity to the nth degree and do way better than we are at the moment. Mr. Speaker,
1 minute.
I'd like to actually pat the Minister, Nathan Guy, on the back. I've been watching biosecurity very strongly, well before I was in Parliament and right through to this time. Unfortunately, in 2008, when National got in, there were significant cuts to biosecurity in this country. There was almost an immediate loss of 60 jobs, and I think a year or so later there was another 200 jobs down the gurgler in the biosecurity, and importantly, many of these are in the front line. What we have been seeing is an incremental increase in repair to that, and I'll speak further on this in a later speech. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I call Todd Barclay.